Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you're having a great Friday. I definitely am because I'm eating this. And this is a dinner for two of fettuccine and meatballs. It was a bit chilly today, so I wanted something warm. I usually make this to warm myself up and comfort me during cold days. Now let's get into the video. To start with this video, I'm using my aromatics, which are 2 cloves of garlic, 1 thumb of ginger, and a Fresno pepper, to make things spicy. And I'll be adding that into a blender with some tomatoes and half an onion. What I like to do is to cut half an onion and use the other half that I'm going to fry up and caramelize to add some sweetness and some depth of flavor to my tomato sauce. And then I also found this wilting orange bell pepper in the fridge that I'm also going to use up because why not? And then I add all those into my blender with some water to help blend, and I blend it until smooth to make a nice smooth tomato sauce. I just feel like blending everything together, the tomatoes with the aromatics, helps to bring out the flavor of the aromatics and also ensures that my sauce doesn't look too chunky and it's nice and smooth, especially because I will be adding other vegetables as well and I don't want all of them to show. Next, I'll be boiling my pasta. The pasta that I am using is fettuccine pasta. If you're using spaghetti, you can use that as well. But I'm using fettuccine linguine because that's what we had. And like I said, this is the dinner for two. This one is almost finished. Hence, I'm sure you guys understand what inspired my video. I was like, why not? Actually, initially, this was supposed to be a dinner for one, a single serve spaghetti and meatballs, or in this case, fettuccine and meatballs. But then I realized that I wouldn't be able to finish all that pasta by myself. But if you can, then consider this a single serve meal. And then I added in some salt and closed and let that do its thing. Next, I caramelized my onions. So I put them in my pan and then I added in about 2 tablespoons of some olive oil and fried those until they were translucent and little golden. And then I added in some seasoning salt. Now usually I would just add in salt at this stage, but because I had a little bit of the lemon and rosemary seasoning salt left, I decided to add it in just to finish it off. Then I added in some sweet paprika and some red pepper chili flakes as well. Gave it a toss in the pan for the spices to temper, and then I added in some water to deglaze the pan. I added in about 1/4 cup of water. This was just to deglaze the pan and to get some of the flavor from the bottom of the pan off of the bottom of the pan and so that it doesn't burn. If you want to, you can add more oil as well, but I didn't want to add more oil. So deglazing your pan is also a trick to try and avoid adding too much oil. So you can just use water instead. It's also very free, free government juice. And now I'll be adding in my vegetables. I'll be adding in my bell peppers as well as my eggplant. The bell pepper is 1/4 worth and the eggplant is 1/2 worth of a medium-sized eggplant that I diced up, and I'm adding that into the pan to cook a little bit. And then after cooking away some of the water that I'll be adding in here, another 1/4 cup, then I'll be adding in my tomato sauce. After about 20 minutes of the tomato sauce cooking, I'll be adding in 2 teaspoons of tomato paste. This is optional. You can just rely on the tomatoes, but I decided to add in the tomato paste because I really wanted the flavor of the tomato sauce to shine bright like a diamond. And also, look at that beautiful color. I really like how the tomato sauce turns more redder and deep and looks so intentional, and then because of the bitterness, I'm also going to be adding in a teaspoon of sugar to try and cut the acidity from the tomatoes and to do away with the bitterness that you generally will get from tomato paste. And then close the pot and let that cook for a further 10 minutes, and then it's ready for you to add in baby marrow and your pasta. Now the reason why I add in the baby marrow at this end stage of the cooking process is because baby marrow does not take that long to cook, and I did not want the baby marrow to lose its wonderful vibrant green colors. Otherwise, also because of the nutritional content, we don't want to cook our baby marrow for too long so we don't lose too much of the nutrients. And then I added in my meatballs and my reserved pasta water. I reserved 1/2 cup of pasta water to help thicken the sauce, and my meatballs are already done. They just have to be cooked in a sauce. And at this stage, those of you that eat actual meat, you can add in your meatballs at this stage for your meatballs to then soak in all the flavor of the sauce and just be merry and happy. And then lastly, I'm going to be adding in my pasta. Depending on your pasta's cooking time, I do suggest that you cook your pasta closer to when your tomato sauce is almost going to be done, because you don't want it to sit and overcook, because obviously latent heat will make it cook further. So just be aware of that. But one thing that you can do, that some people do, that I do sometimes as well, is to take your pasta out while it's still al dente. And what this means is that it is just about to be cooked. It's not completely cooked thoroughly. The heart of the pasta is still a little bit hard, and this will help to ensure that your pasta won't overcook, number one. And number two, it means that once you add in your pasta into the sauce, then it can just further cook in the sauce. And just as the meatballs did, the pasta will have more time to sit in the sauce and absorb all the flavor and just soak up the yummy goodness. And as a last touch to the dish, I decided to add in some cracked black pepper, fresh, and as well as half a teaspoon of some dried thyme. The reason why I added these things in last is because I wanted them to be a touch to the dish. So I don't want them to overpower the meal per se. I just wanted them to be a little bit of a, oh, there's thyme in here. Oh, okay, there's a little bit of black pepper. So it's just a touch. It's to taste. But if you don't like thyme, you don't have to use thyme. You can use whatever other herb that you like basil maybe, or oregano. Oregano is really good here as well. Once it's done, you can serve. This pasta dish was so good, guys. It's literally just enough for 2 people. Obviously, this is depending on how much you eat. I can imagine this being enough for 1 person. I'm hinting at my brother, but I don't eat that much. Or maybe I just didn't have a big appetite, who knows. So I had this for lunch today, and then I'm gonna keep it in the fridge for lunch tomorrow or dinner tomorrow, depending on when I decide to eat it. And the nice thing about having it left over, don't feel pity for me and think, ah, shame, she doesn't have someone to eat it with. No, the nice thing about keeping it in the fridge is that the flavors, they really go inside even more. I just feel like when sauce or a stew or pasta sits for a while in the fridge, even a salad, the flavors just become more pronounced and there's more cohesion in the dish. Anyway, and then I garnished mine with some baby spinach that I sliced up and some more black pepper, because why not? And look how delicious this looks, guys. It looks so yummy. It was equally as delicious, if not more. And it was also very simple to make. It really didn't have that many ingredients, not many spices really. I just used herbs and black pepper and then aromatics. So another reason why I didn't add some more spices was because the meatballs also have a lot of spice in them, and herbs as well, like cilantro, parsley, sage, and then there's also smoked paprika in there, some white pepper, some nutmeg, some mustard seeds. The point is, the meatballs themselves already have a lot of flavor. They're packed with a lot of flavor. And for those of you wondering, I'm using the fries meatballs. Whatever meatballs you use, obviously whatever spice they have will affect the taste and the flavor of your tomato sauce, and they should work with the tomato sauce because the tomato sauce is simple and very easy to. So good, so good. I hope that you guys try these. I always appreciate your support, and please like, subscribe, and comment below. Until next time, bye bye.